Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of the Norwich City Save. My name is Andy, and this is at 3 p.m, and you join us today for a very different episode. Usually when it comes to ends of transfer windows, I normally do the transfer window and tell you what it is that I have done. Today, we're going to do things slightly differently. We've got a very busy end of the January transfer window for you. It involves a game against Fulham and also some transfers that do need to happen. We have had some sales and may yet have some more. So join us, and please, at the end of this, do leave some feedback. Do you like this sort of episode? Do you like following along with the transfers as they happen? Or do you prefer the kind of reporting style at the end of it? Leave all your comments down below, and please do like and subscribe. So this is it, folks. We are going to be taking part in the transfer deadline day today because we have had some interest in our players, and I'm still in the market for one particular position. You'll see, looking at our news, we have had bids and turned down bids for Emi Buendia. We've had bids as well for Lirim Castrati, and we have had bids for Max Aarons and Diego Quiros. All of which we have turned down, with the exception of one offer from China for Lirim Castrati. They offered £58 million for him, and I felt that that was an offer that was too good really to turn down. And as a result of which, he then went away, thought about it, and decided to reject them anyway. So he remains at the club for the time being. No one's particularly interested, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody pops up a little later on, maybe with a bid for him. Everything is possible and on the table. On top of that as well, I'm looking really to try and find somebody that can come in and play that central midfield role. I've got Oliver Skip at the minute, who plays the central midfield defence role, and I had Gonzalo Escalante until recently, where Monaco have recalled him. I had a conversation with their manager and said, well, if you're not happy with what's happening, recall him, and they duly did. So with that in mind, I'm looking for another central midfielder, and I'm looking for really to replace anybody that leaves the club on this busy transfer deadline day. And somewhere in there, we've got to fit a match against Fulham. So here we go, we've gotten ourselves involved in the transfer deadline day. As I say, I'm looking for a central midfielder who can really play that role of the covering force between the midfield and the defence. Ollie Skip does that role very, very well, because not only is he good in tackling, he works hard, he has decent stamina and strength, and he can pass the ball out. So he really is the good all-round package. And I'll be honest, I have tried to tempt Tottenham with a move of around about 30 to 40 million pounds, but they want closer to 60 million for him, and that is just too much money. I've got to bear in mind that he's a loan player and he's going to be going back, so it may very well be that at the end of this season we're looking not just at needing one central midfielder that can play in this role, but needing actually two. So let's start by seeing what's out there. We're going to see if we can find any similar players through the find similar players option, and see what that comes back with. Now this gives us a list of every single player, as you may well know, whether they are interested or not. So that is not particularly helpful in all circumstances. So let's find out who it is would be interested in joining us. And immediately that long list of players, 30 odd players, has already been whittled down to 11. And I have to say, I'm not exactly enthused by the results that I'm offered here. I mean, Idrissa Gueye guy, he's a pretty decent player, but he's 33. He's not going to be a long-term option. What about this guy, Nuno Pira, 23 years of age. He's got very good mentals and very good physicals. But is he the player that I need right now? Probably not. He's not a player that's going to be competing in Europe anytime soon. Calvin Phillips, 27, £32.5 million. He has probably the same rounded statistics that Ollie Skip does. If you compare him together, I mean, look at that. Ollie Skip is slightly better in terms of speed, but Calvin Phillips is slightly better in the mentals and the technicals. So Calvin Phillips is a good shout, but 32.5 million quid. Am I going to be paying similar amounts of money to Leeds that I would have been to get Ollie Skip from Tottenham? Let's have a quick gander. I'll ask you about the availability. So 43.5 to 58, and he wants nearly 100 grand. That's quite a lot of money, and something I'm not really prepared to spend to that extent. Another player that continually catches my eye is Isaac Hayden. Now, Isaac might be a good shout as a backup, with the option of finding somebody a bit more permanent next season. But it's very slim pickings, isn't it? Maybe we can lower our demands a little bit. Bravery, anticipation, work rate and stamina. I kind of want all of those things. Perhaps if we change it to any, and we make sure you can play in central midfield as well. Right, well, that's given us a few more options, isn't it? And the name that jumps out at me immediately is Scott McTominay, unhappy at Wolves. He's only been paid 37 grand a week, but also been paid nearly 7 grand by Manchester United. How much would he cost me? See, again, 45.5 million with 70 grand a week. He would be less in terms of wages, but for the prices we're getting quoted here, we'd be better off investing in Ollie Skip, I think, and then spending a little bit of extra money to bring in somebody like Lucas Tossard, who isn't going to be up for what we need him to do, but is going to be able to do it in a pinch if we need him to. I think maybe change things up a little bit again. Right, so that gives us a few more options, including Declan Rice. Now, that is an intriguing prospect. He's got no clauses in his contract, which is interesting. Can't believe he's still at West Ham. I mean, on every game I've seen so far, Declan Rice moves to one of the big clubs almost immediately. So the fact that he's still here, able to be picked up on, is quite surprising. He's not played too well so far, 6.74. He thinks Thomas Susek is a natural leader. Leadership is a bit of an issue for me. No, I think, again, Declan Rice, shall we find out whether he's available? 52 million quid, 105 grand a week. That's huge money. This is not who I was actually looking to find, but actually he might be a very good loan option to replace Escalante. Played quite well, actually. Surprising that Getafe have got him up for sale. I mean, they want 7.25 million for him. Anyway, the player I noticed was leaving on a free. We'll come back to Max Bird in a minute. He's not a bad shout. Mohamed El Neni. That was the player I thought I saw was leaving on a free. Obviously, that's wrong. Now, Max Bird. Is Max Bird an option? Is he playing in the Championship this year? He is playing in the Championship this year. Wanted by Watford. I mean, he has a lot going for him at the moment. Decent tackling, decent passing and marking, decent strength and stamina, decent work rate. He is Ollie Skip light, isn't he? And if he can be picked up 24 to 33, see, that's a bit more reasonable. Would he be a good option in the short term? Okay, I think this is what we're going to do. We've got £55 million in that bank account with a £267,000 a week wage budget. Oh, there's an option. And he's a very good option. Although, no, maybe not then. Okay. I still think this is going to be. This could be worth pushing the boat out a little bit. I'm going to see if we can tempt Manchester City. If we can tempt West Ham into a £40 million offer. See, they want 70 and they want to sign a replacement as well. £78 million. We'll cancel that out. I'm going to offer them. I'm going to offer them 60. That's going to be non-negotiable. Now, having said that, £60 million is quite a lot of money for him. Maybe, just maybe. Do I want to? I think I'm gonna make a last-minute offer for him as well. So Ollie Skip, can we tempt them to sell us Ollie Skip? 43 million. They want 58. I'll offer them 50. Ah, hold the phone. We have a £50 million offer accepted for them, and that would mean poor player 66 grand a week. Can we get him to accept that? I don't like sell-on fees. 54 grand. Wants 81 grand now. Right, come on, Ollie. I'll offer you 69 grand a week, and if you drop your signing on fee, we might offer you a little bit more. Okay, 75 grand. If you take a lesser signing on fee, you're not getting that. You can have 77 grand, 3.6 million. That's accepted. Okay, we might have a plan forming here, guys. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to see if I can get on loan. Where is he? There we go. Right. Now, if that works out, that means we'll keep Ollie Skip next season, and we've got his backup for the rest of this season, and will allow us perhaps to bring through a couple of players. So here we go. We already have 2 offers in for our players. So let's have a look. Bournemouth have made an offer for James Howard. James Howard is a 16-year-old winger who has 2, maybe 3-star potential. Good pace. Only determination of 11. How much are they offering? 235 grand? I mean, for the sake of 235 grand, I might as well keep him and see how he progresses. Oh, Arsenal have offered nearly over £8 million, but my young 17-year-old winger, Martin Spears. Now, I have to say, this is an interesting offer. I paid £5.5 million for him from Hamilton, and they're only offering me 8. So I'm going to tell them if they want him, pay up 20 million, and they've rejected that. I mean, Declan Rice's offer has been refused. Maybe we just leave that for now. Oh no, best laid plans and all that. I thought we were set here. Moro Arambari has turned us down, but better news, Ollie Skip is going to be coming to the club on a permanent basis. That is a huge transfer, absolutely huge, and it makes me wonder what we're going to do about the other backup position to him, because we do need a backup. We cannot get away from that. We need a backup player for this position. So maybe what I'm going to do is resort to the good old-fashioned transfer list. We're looking for anybody who can play in central midfield and who's got a bit of a decent tackle on him. that probably came out a bit wrong. A decent tackling central midfielder, not... Let's forget it, let's leave it. So immediately Mark Rocker jumps out at me. He would be a lot of money. What about Asir Lamanderi? Just as I say, a backup squad player, and see what happens there. Oriol Busquets. Hello. This guy is up for £4.5 million. But it seems he won't get a work permit, which is not particularly helpful. Ollie Norwood as a experienced head. Is he good enough? I don't think he is. Oh, I have an idea. I have an interesting idea. I remember looking at Chelsea and thinking he may be worth signing on a free transfer. His contract is due in 6 months, so it may very well be we can get him on the cheap. And because he's English, yeah, £2.5 million. Yeah. Botch that up. So Bristol City have offered some money for Sol Hamilton. Sol Hamilton wants to leave. He's not that great, is our Sol. He's only got a 2.5 star potential, so if we can make the most of this offer, yeah, let's go with that. So no major bids for our major stars so far, but it seems we've got quite an interest in some of our younger players. I am breaking one of my cardinal sins if I do this, which is never sign a player without a scout report. But hear me out. He's 23. He's got potential. I know that because he's got decent potential throughout this game, throughout the last seasons. Yes, he used to play for Ipswich. That's not good. But as a backup midfielder to Ollie Skip and somebody who can play across the defence, he's not bad at all, is he? He's got everything I want from decent strength, stamina, work rate, tackling, decent enough passing, positioning. I think I'm going to go for it. I think he might have enough in the locker to make this work. We're going to see how bad it is when we do this. Right. Oh, Elmer. Get rid of him. Let's just, before we cancel that one, let's just see how bad Trevor Chaballera is. Actually not bad, 2.5 star but with 3 star current ability. Do you know what? I think I'm going to keep him. I think we'll be able to make this work for us. So a couple of bids again for our younger players. James Howard, looked at him already. I think I wanted to keep him. trainer. Promising striker, 3-star. Again, don't really want to be getting rid of him unless it's a silly offer, and that's far from silly. Well, we have the first offer from a big club for one of our big players. Wolves have offered us £30 million for Diego Quiros. I am going to tell them that unless they want to stump up a bit more money, it's going to be a no. Oh no, they've agreed to pay what I want. This isn't good. Well, Quiros says he's not interested in speaking to Wolves, so let's test him on that. I think 40 million quid for him is a lot of money. I think we can replace him for slightly less than that and get someone slightly better, but it now means with less than 8 hours left of the transfer window, we're going to be looking for a central defender. Oh no. So, as I was panicking and making some observations as to who it is I might be able to bring in to replace Quiros if he does go to Wolves, we've had a quick rejection. Quiros is not going to be leaving the club at the end of this particular transfer window. Sorry Wolves, better luck next time. So we're going back into the world of the transfer deadline day. There is only an hour and a half left. I suspect we are done for this transfer deadline day, and indeed we are. The biggest transfer of the January window, Alessandro Bastoni from Inter Milan to Chelsea for 101 million. But then you look at the next two and they're both us. Ollie Skip for 50 million and Karim Adeyemi for 45 million pounds. So we've done quite good business here. Well everyone, it's been a very different kind of episode today. We have gone through the last day of the transfer window in meticulous detail, showing you just the ups and the downs and everything that's happened on the day in question. And we had a really quite busy day, didn't we? We signed Ollie Skip, good signing for the club going forward. He is one for the future without a shadow of a doubt, and a firm fixture in that central midfield for years to come, I reckon. And Trevor Chalbaloa, if that's how you pronounce it, he will be a decent backup, I suspect, at least until the end of the season, until we can get someone better. So really, we have achieved everything that we set out to do, and we now have our squad for the rest of the season. You haven't seen the game we played against Fulham, which I did also record, but the episode was getting so long with the transfer window business that really I didn't want to convolute it and make it just that bit too long by having the episode include that Fulham match. So we're going to have a smaller episode next week where we play that Fulham match. It's going to be a bit more laid back, a bit more chilled, no annoying loopy music to bother you with either. And we're going to see how well our new players settle in. Thank you for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe the video and drop us a comment saying how you're enjoying the series so far. And see you next time at 3 PM for more of the Norwich City Save. Take care.